what type of money does it take to make a film like this? That's a good question. For Lullaby, I would never tell people the exact budget, just because, just so you guys know what's going on with Lullaby. I mean, right now with Lullaby, we currently have what's called a foreign sales company who's representing the film to foreign buyers and making deals on the film in foreign territories. I think at this point they've made somewhere between 10 and 20 deals on foreign territories for the film. And then we also have what's called a domestic sales rep who's currently pitching the film to U.S. cable TV and DVD buyers. I guess it's one thing. It's one of the few questions I can't answer specifically in terms of budget. But I tell people with Lullaby that it cost over $1 million, under $5 million. And we're in a similar arena with Peril. So over $1 million, under $5 million, if that gives people a sense. With Lullaby, we had 49 investors. 48 were from the Shreveport area, and Peril is going to be made much the same way. It's going to be financed locally, shot locally. Tell us a little bit about some of the lead characters, and when do you hope to get this out into the public viewing? Okay, let me start with the first question. And I'm going to just interrupt for 1 second. If you guys are just tuning in, you're tuning in for the chat for the upcoming independent film Peril. I'm Jeffrey Goodman, the director, and I appreciate everyone being here. Tell us a little bit about some of the lead characters. One of the lead characters is a young boy. He's an 11-year-old boy. His character's name is Milo, M-I-L-O, and Milo is, I guess you could say, wise for his age, a bit alienated as a young boy. Doesn't fit in terribly at school. He's a foster child, so when the movie starts, we meet him with his foster family, him and I believe it's 4 foster siblings. Some of the other main roles are Patty, who is a woman in her late 30s that Milo befriends and becomes one of Milo's main confidants. Also, Jen is a female in her late 20s, early 30s, is one of Milo's teachers at school. Also, someone that he confides in and that he trusts. And then Milton, or sometimes he goes by Stellar, is actually a policeman. And once things kind of go awry with Milo a little bit, and I don't want to divulge too much about the plot, but once things kind of go off course a little bit with him, Stellar becomes involved and is another one of someone trying to protect Milo and help him out. Let's see. When do you hope to get this out into the public viewing? There's really, as soon as possible, but, so much of filmmaking, I would say if you ask me what's the single most important characteristic for being an independent filmmaker, I would say patience. The business moves at its own pace. It takes a long time to put a movie together. It takes a long time to make a movie. It takes a long time to get the movie out to the public. So, I would estimate, once the money's in place, it'll take us about a year to go from start to finish with the movie. That's putting the team together. Pre-production, production, and post-production, and then probably another year of taking it to festivals and bringing it out into the public. And like I said before, I'm still putting the money together, so I've got to get through with that chapter before we start pre-production, production, and all those other phases. And if you guys ask a question and I don't answer it in the way that you were looking for, just continue to fire questions at me. If you guys are just tuning in, you're tuning in for the chat about the upcoming independent film Peril. I'm Jeffrey Goodman, the director, and if you can hear me, but you can't figure out what I'm talking about this in terms of the chat, you have to enable the chat window when you log on to Ustream, and that's how you'll communicate with me, is by typing into the chat board. Okay, next question. What areas other than Shreveport are you looking to film in? I don't know. It's I was a location scout for Lullaby, which means I was the one that kind of got in the car and figured out all the locations that matched up with the script. Like Lullaby was filmed all within a 30-mile radius of Shreveport, and I'd like to do the same thing this time around. I mean, I haven't actually pinpointed locations for the movie yet. I mean, what I did with Lullaby is once the money was raised and once we were a little further along in the process, then I started scouting locations. And right now, I mean, raising money is a full-time job, so I'm out there 5 days a week in meetings and working on the weekends to catch up to get ready for the next week. So right now, I mean, raising the money is my only job. It's a full-time job, and then once that's done, I'll start focusing more on casting, focus more on who the crew is going to be, and focus more on what the locations will be. Next question. Let's see. Are the local politicians and businessmen assisting you? That's a good question. As far as letting you use whatever part, yeah. I mean, the city's amazing. The Shreveport area is amazing in terms of assistance and support. I remember with Lullaby, we were able to use the downtown library, and I was able to get permission to use the downtown library within about 10 minutes. So this area really wants the film industry here, and this area I don't think could be more accommodating to people making movies here. So I only have really positive things to say about my experience here. I mean, it's home, so that's one thing about it. But it sounds like from everyone else coming here and making movies, the city's very helpful and very accommodating.